Hello, Steve House 89. Well, this film is a bit of a mystery to me, Red Planet. I just watched it, but I thought I'd watched it before. It was released in 2000. It's directed by Anthony Hoffman. It stars Val Kilmer, Carrie-Anne Moss, Tom Sizemore, and Benjamin Bratt, Simon Baker, and Terence Stamp as well, which surprised me. I had no idea any of them were in the film. I didn't know who was in the film. I think I recognised Val Kilmer from the poster and the poster art on the DVD, which also had Carrie-Anne Moss, but I didn't realise the other guys were in it. They weren't big stars at the time. This was back in 2000. It was made on a budget of 80 million, and the box office was only 33 million, so it was a huge flop. Now, I always think of this film in terms of like the sister film to Mission to Mars, because often Hollywood, different studios will do the same film, basically, like Twister, Armageddon and Deep Impact. The Volcano film with Harrison Ford and Anne H, and then the other one with Dante's Peak with like Pierce Brosnan and stuff like that. They would do that, and there were these two Mars films that I had on DVD for ages, and I know I'd watched Mission to Mars because I remember it had a bit of a 2001 sort of surreal sort of ending, and that was interesting. But I thought I'd watch this film as well, Red Planet, and I started to watch it, and I'm like, I've never seen this before. I've owned this on DVD for 20 years, and I've never watched it. And I thought I'd watched it. And I'm like, did I watch it in the cinema and forget? What other film am I thinking of? I know there was another film that was about Mars that was very different that I'm sure I watched. I'm like, did I buy this thinking that was that film? What was that film? It's a mess. But the film was interesting. Like I said, I hadn't seen it before, so I didn't know what to expect. Basically, some astronauts on a space station, and they, through a bunch of problems, starting from, I think it's a supernova, they get like a burst of radiation and damages the ship, and they end up going down to the planet, and they discover, because they've been seeding the planet with algae and stuff to create oxygen and make it livable. They discover it's all gone, then they find a pocket of air. They all end up, well, most of them end up dying. There is a fight between Benjamin Bratt and Simon Baker, which is interesting because in the film, Benjamin Bratt is just demasculating Simon Baker for some reason, and he shoves him. They're standing on the edge of a cliff, by the way, and then there's a moment or two of struggle, and then he tries to grab Simon Baker, but he falls backwards and falls off the cliff silently, and I thought that was just really weird. In the deleted scenes, you actually see there's a proper fight between the two of them, and Benjamin Bratt, because they're all running out of oxygen, basically, before they realise they can actually breathe on the planet, which they find out by taking their masks off as they're suffocating. He runs out of air during the fight, and then he sort of collapses, and then Simon Baker kicks him and kicks him off the edge of the cliff, and that's why he falls silently, because he can't breathe, because he's run out of oxygen. And then he acts like he's shocked by what he did. It's really weird. So there's a fair few deleted scenes and a few interesting little parts, but that was the most interesting part. At the end of the day, they discover that there are these creatures that have grown out of the algae, and they're basically eating the algae and creating the oxygen, or eating up the oxygen, and basically the Val Kilmer character just escapes Mars by fixing a probe or a ship that was damaged and didn't launch from the planet like it was supposed to after landing there, I guess to do research or something. And he gets back to Carrie-Anne Moss, and they end up getting back together, because he hits on her at the start of the film. She kind of ignores him, but then once they're separated, because she gets stuck on the space station by herself while the other guys all end up going down to the planet. Terence Stamp dies right away when they land, because it's a rough landing, and he's injured, and they leave him behind, and then he dies. The other guys, there's a third guy, I think it's the Tom Sizemore character. He gets stuck in a bunch of these creatures that are going to kill him, so he drops a bomb to kill them, but he also ignites all the oxygen and burns the oxygen out of the whole area, which is why Val Kilmer ends up running out of oxygen and having to get onto this repaired probe, whatever, and then get off the planet, which he does. So it's very much action orientated and fairly simple. Now the effects, they sort of are quite good in some ways. They really show a lot of ship shots and a lot of action is in space regarding, using the ships and everything, but sometimes the quality, some scenes, particularly the indoor scenes when Carrie-Anne Moss is floating around and there's fire and smoke, looks quite CGI, very 2000, but some other scenes look quite good. It's a bit inconsistent, but it's difficult to go back and watch older films with a lot of effects that were impressive at the time, that now you look at them and you can see the flaws and inconsistencies, but you have to appreciate the overall design and look of them, and just focus on that part. And overall, the film does look good. It's interesting. It's not what I thought it was. I still don't know what this other film was I watched back in the day that I thought this was when I bought it, and then apparently never watched it. But yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. It is a good film. I would watch it. I'm just distracted by the mystery of where's the film I thought this was.